Don Antonio Moretti slammed his fist on the table. Glasses jumped. Forks clattered. Every head at the long Brooklyn dinner table snapped toward him. He hadn't meant to do it, but his 6-year-old daughter Sophia had just asked the one question nobody ever asked. Papa, why do people fear you? Silence. The kind that presses on your ears. Antonio stared at her, his jaw locked. The scar above his eye twitched. He forced a laugh. Iron keeps us safe, Principessa. That's all. Sophia tilted her head. If you're made of iron, why do your eyes look sad when you think nobody's watching? The room emptied of air. Capo shifted. Wives froze. Maria's hand tightened on Antonio's knee. His fingers shook as he reached for his wine. Red spilled over the rim. Eat your food, he said. Too sharp. Sophia's lip trembled. A tear slid down her cheek. She set her fork down carefully. Across the table, Elena saw everything. Dark hair pulled back. Cream dress. Quiet confidence. She spoke softly. Clear. Kids ask because they care, Don Antonio. Maybe iron bends when it's protecting what it loves most. Antonio's eyes snapped to her. For a second, no one breathed. Then Sophia sniffled, and that small sound broke him. Antonio pushed his chair back, walked around the table, dropped to his knees. The most feared man in Brooklyn, on the floor in front of his daughter. He took Sophia's hands. I'm sorry, Principessa, he whispered. His voice cracked. Papa didn't mean to yell. She studied his face, then wrapped her arms around his neck. The table exhaled. Maria wiped her eyes. Vito stared at his plate. Tommy Two Fingers blinked hard. Elena smiled just a little. Antonio stayed there, forehead against Sophia's curls, breathing her in. When he finally returned to his seat, his eyes were red. Dinner resumed. Awkward. Fork scraping. Bread passing. But something had shifted. Elena leaned forward. When I was Sophia's age, my father asked me something similar. Not why people feared him. Why I didn't. The table went quiet again. My dad was a good man. Worked 2 jobs. Came home bleeding. But he carried anger like a weapon. One night, he yelled so loud the neighbors called the police. After that, he never raised his voice again. He just disappeared behind walls. She looked at Antonio. I learned something watching that. Kindness isn't weakness. It's the only armor that never breaks. Antonio's jaw worked. Sophia reached across the table. Antonio took her hand instantly, held it tight. Maria smiled through tears. Vito cleared his throat. Boss! Remember when we were kids? You used to cry when your ma yelled. Nervous laughter. Antonio glanced at him. No heat. Keep talking and you won't finish dessert. Real laughter this time. The table loosened. Stories followed. Kids. Monsters. Night lights. Elena listened. Never pushed. Antonio watched her. When the kids were sent away, Sophia hugged him longer than usual. Whispered something in his ear. His eyes closed. Adult stayed. Antonio poured Elena wine himself. You knew my world before tonight, he said. I grew up 3 blocks from here, she said. I know exactly what world this is. And you still spoke to me like that. Someone had to. He studied her. You're not afraid of me. I'm afraid of men who forget how to open the doors they built. Antonio looked at his hands. Hands that signed orders. I built walls to protect my family, he said. But tonight, I almost lock her out. Elena reached across the table. Palm open. Antonio hesitated, then placed his hand in hers. 10 seconds. No one spoke. When he let go, his shoulders dropped. Thank you, he said. Thank your daughter, Elena replied. She asked a question. Later, the house was quiet. Brooklyn hummed outside. Sophia slept on the couch. Antonio knelt beside her. I'm going to try to be better, he whispered. For you. In the kitchen, Maria hummed softly. The house felt lighter, like a door had finally opened. Family dinners can reveal everything. What's the toughest question you've ever been asked at the table? The one that stopped you cold? Drop it in the comments. If this story reminded you that strength and kindness can exist together, like the video. Subscribe for more stories like this. And until next time, stay kind, even when the world tells you it's weak.